Hi, and welcome to another coffee break with formation. So today I want to talk about the idea of testing. So there aren't very many things in an interview that might earn you an insta-fail. I spent a lot of time, in fact, talking about how interviews aren't at all or nothing. But there are very few things that might earn you that. And the good news, though, is that these are very avoidable. So, the cardinal sin of the day is to announce that you're done with a problem without actually testing your code on some real test cases. Okay, so the first step then is to have test cases at all. Step two then is to have good test cases. So today I'm going to focus on talking about test cases for compiled environments where it's very cheap to have more test cases. In a whiteboarding interview, you typically probably have fewer test cases. But here are 3 rules that you can use to have a good set of test cases. Number 1. Start by covering at least one happy case. So this is a normal, valid input, and it's standard for what this function might expect. Number 2 is stress tests with edge cases. So these are invalid cases, empty cases, extreme cases, things like when your array is sorted in the opposite or least optimal order, etc. And finally, 3, end with one stress test. So this might be a test case that's a little bigger than is necessary and as random as possible just to try to cover anything that you may not have thought of. Okay, so I know I said there were 3 steps, but here is one very important bonus tip. So whenever I've given this advice to include lots of test cases, one of the very common reactions is actually to over-test, and that's a real thing. So when coming up with test cases, you don't want to brute force it. Your goal, actually, other than the maybe one stress test, is actually to write the minimum number of test cases that covers all possible different scenarios that you need to handle, and no more. A good rule of thumb to ensure that you're doing this is to make sure that every line of code and conditional is executed at least one time. And beyond just having impressive test cases in an interview, the skill of picking the right test cases will help you grow as an engineer while you're training. And that's it for today, and I'll see you at the next coffee break with formation.